BarbacoaCore, a podcast network.
What is up, everybody? Thank you for checking out the new BarbacoaCore Podcast. I fucking had a mind fart right there. I haven't done one of these in a long time. So yeah, thanks for joining us again. Thanks for coming back, checking out the BarbacoaCore Podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Huerta. Today, I am doing a Zoom chat. First one ever. Let's see how it goes with local comedian Bobby Mack. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, Pat? How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. I'm surviving. I'm actually enjoying the quarantine, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm working from home, and I was enjoying it like a little bit too much. But I'm doing good, man. Before we get started, any plugs, social medias? How do people find you?
Yeah. If you want to check out any of my stand-up or anything like that, you can look me up on the gram. If you want to go on the gram, you can look me up at Bobby Mack, the comedian. That's just all together. You can check out you can also check out my podcast as well. It's called the Bobby Mack Jumbo XL Podcast, and you can listen to that on anywhere you stream podcasts. It could be Spotify, Google, or Apple, or whatever you listen to. So
yeah.
Is
that just the audio format, or do you do videos on that too?
No, actually, you know what, dude? I have not done video. I do. I only do audio.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah.
I just found, like, because I did do a podcast before with video, and for me personally, I just found that, like, my time was taken up with less of, content, and I was just worried about, okay, the length of the videos and just kind of like editing them and doing all that. I feel like I poured more into editing the videos versus, like, putting out the content. I mean, that's just what I felt like anyway.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, I know everybody's like, I'll put a video on YouTube, or the video will get you more plays and stuff, but it just becomes work, and I don't have any knowledge of video editing, cutting the paste. Most of my episodes are unedited. There's been a couple times where people have like, oh, I need you to take that out and stuff. So audio editing I could do, that's not a problem, but it's just audio and video, linking those up and making the right edits and stuff. It just seems like a lot of work. And I like the turnaround, like on these podcasts. Like this one will probably be put out, later tonight or whatever, unless I have any serious editing to do. But I don't know, man, like these Zoom chats, you said you've done one of these Zoom chats before?
No, I've never done a Zoom chat. I've done I've done the one on Google and Duo, but I've never done a Zoom. I always hear stuff about Zoom about how, like, I guess people, like, it's not like private, or people hack into it or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I've heard people, like, because they've been using it for businesses. Like businesses will have like their meetings on Zoom chats, and I hear like people would jump in on that, like kind of hijack them, and then like start saying like bad, like racial stuff or cussing during like a business meeting. Yeah, or they'll start putting up images and stuff during a corporate meeting.
That's hilarious. I would actually like to see that. No, I would. I would love to see that.
Yeah, as long as it's not your meeting, as long as you're just like viewing it, you're like, oh, this shit's pretty fucked up. Somebody's getting fired for this shit.
Oh yeah, for real, man, for real. But yeah, I mean, I haven't done a Zoom or anything like that. I've done a podcast for somebody else. I was on their podcast, and we did it on I think it was called Duo. We did that, and then of course, like on Facebook, the video calls, they did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is my first time using Zoom, so we'll see who gets hijacked and molested or whatever. I don't know.
Have you had the itch to do one of those online comedies, stand-up shows?
So pretty much like doing, like, kicking out material, but with no audience, right?
Yeah.
You know what, man? I don't really know, dude. Like, I can't. I mean, like, I can kind of wrap my mind around it, but it's kind of like at the same time, it's like your reaction obviously goes off of the crowd.
For sure.
So it's just kind of like you're just kicking out, you're just like regurgitating your material. You're not like truly performing. But I mean, like I could see how you could do it though. Like if you have that, like if you imagine that there's an audience there, and if you imagine that it's going well, you can probably. But I mean, again, like I haven't tried it. I mean, I think if I was asked to do it, then I probably would, but I don't know if I would just voluntarily be like, oh yeah, let me hop on there.
Yeah, like Luchador is doing their open mics on Thursday, but it's a virtual open mic. You could sign up, and I think it's sort of like this. I think they use like Yard Stream, something like that.
Okay.
And they've been doing open mics and asking for people to sign up, and a lot of people are signing up. Like they're getting a full list, and people are just going up and just like this, like talking and like trying to do like a comedy show.
Yeah.
And I haven't had the nerve to do it and stuff.
I just, like I said, I don't know how I would feel about I don't know. I think just because, look, I've been doing stand-up for almost 10 years now, and it's like I'm just so used to a crowd, whether it be a crowd of one or a crowd of 200 or 300, whatever, or a shitty crowd, a good crowd. I'm just used to having a crowd. I don't know if performing in front of my laptop or my cell phone or whatever, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I definitely need like some type of response to go off of. Most of my best sets was because of the crowd, because they were either with me or adding to the fire and all that stuff and helping with the timing. So to be able to do that, a lot of people aren't even doing like material. They're just talking about like their quarantine days and all that stuff. And at the same time, like what's really to say about that? I mean, doing a podcast and talking about your experience, like yes, but to actually like try to or have it called like a comedy show, I don't know.
Yeah, and really, it's mostly because it's not the same format. It's not the same format that is normally is. I mean, you and I think that they're probably maybe really leaning into this whole quarantine deal, the whole pandemic deal. I mean, I find it is kind of a way of life right now, but I mean, I don't know, like I've had a lot of people ask me about, oh, well, how do you feel about the quarantine? How do you feel about, all this stuff? It's like, well, it's really not that bad. I mean, I still get to go to the store. Okay, fine. I can't go to the movies or, I can't go this, but I mean, it's like, I still go to HEB, get the shit I need. If I need to go to Walmart, I can go to Walmart, put gas in my truck or whatever. I don't know. To me, it's not that bad. I see people, losing their shit over this quarantine, but it's really not that bad, man. Like it's not.
No. So what have you been doing with your downtime? Are you staying busy?
Downtime? Oh my God. So I have a 2-year-old. So I am like busy, like around the clock. So just doing that, recording my podcast. I've been writing a lot. I've been writing a lot of new stuff with like a lot of new material and stuff like that. Just kind of digging deeper with where I want to go. So far as like, just so far as maybe like when things get back to normal. Yeah. Want to try some new things out. Maybe like I won't say maybe like a new style or like a new twist on what I normally do. So, but other than that, just, doing all the adult shit, like I pressure washed my driveway the other day. What the fuck? Like like I'm doing that and cleaning house and doing the yard and all. It's really, it's kind of boring. You know what? Let me take that back. I get a lot of shit for this, but I've recently, and recently, I'm talking the past like 2 weeks, recently started playing Skyrim.
What's that? Video games? Like a...
Yeah. Okay, so it's a video game. So this is what I've been told. So I've been told that this game is like 10 years old or whatever. And I've never played it. I'm not a huge gamer. Yeah, I'll play video games and stuff like that, but I'm not like a huge, like, I don't spend hours in front of a screen and a controller in my hand. Like, I just never been that way. Yeah. But a buddy of mine introduced me to this game, and I started playing it, and I just been kind of hooked on it. like I play it probably, I mean, if I can, I probably play it like 2 or 3 times a day, like for maybe, I don't know, half an hour a piece. So it's not like, because like I said, I got to take care of my 2-year-old. I just can't ignore him
Yeah.
and let him drown in the tub or something. I just can't let him right? Stick his head in the oven or some shit.
Yeah. Is it
But
just you at home or you and your wife?
No, it's actually me and my wife. My wife's a hairstylist, so
Oh, damn.
yeah. So she got hit pretty hard with it. In my line of work, luckily, I still get to work from home. No pay cuts, no hourly cuts or anything anything weird like that. But so there's still that as an upside. But like I said, she got hit pretty hard because she actually owns her own salon, so she had to shut it down and do all that shit. So now she's stuck at home with me. So yeah, we haven't
and the baby.
Yeah, and the baby. Well, what's crazy is like I prefer the baby over my wife. Like well, no, I just and like I say that is because he's 2. He doesn't know any better. She knows better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, there's like, I can't really hit him because he doesn't really know any better. Her, I should hit her, but it's like
she remembers, she talks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had to tell her the other day. It's funny. Like I had to tell her the other day. I was talking with a buddy of mine in the front foyer of our house. I don't even know if that's even a word, but we were talking the other day, and she comes and asks me a question. And I was like, "Listen, goddamn it, men are talking." Like I had to remind her that men were talking. Yeah. But no, no. Actually, it's been okay. Things haven't gotten violent, so we're actually doing okay.
Well, that's funny, dude, because I tell people a lot about this. Like before, and I was doing a podcast with a wife. I try to get her involved. We were doing something called the Quarantine Buddies, where it was just her and I. We talk about what's going on. I
actually heard that one. Actually, yeah, it was just funny you say that. Like, I actually listened to that one. That was a good one. I liked it.
We were like, this quarantine has been really good for our marriage, really, because we were kind of like, it was going kind of rough towards towards before the pandemic and stuff, and but this it's really working out for us, man. I mean, we're having a good time. We're getting along until recently, which is pretty funny. But like it's really helping us out, man. Because before, like our big problem is that we were like on opposite schedules. Yeah. Like I was really busy with comedy. I was going out like pretty much every night, and then hanging out, on the weekends, try to hang out with buddies or whatever. And she had her own life. She was doing her own thing and busy. And then when I had time, she wasn't available. And then when I was, when she was available, I was busy doing whatever. So just that, like all all that going on was kind of really fucking with us, fucking with our marriage, and shit was kind of like not going good. And so this quarantine happened, and like we're just stuck in the house together. We're like a team now. Like we do everything, and it's actually a lot of fun. I'm actually pretty worried about when this thing is cleared, if we're gonna survive going back to normal and stuff.
Yeah, it is. It has become our way of life. Just like what I said earlier. Yeah, it's only a brief amount of time, but this has kind of become like what we're somewhat used to now. I guess kind of like where like you said, you're stuck in the house all day with this person.
Yeah.
You're spending all your time with this person. And sooner or later, all that's going to come to a pretty hard stop. And then things are going to go back to normal. So,
Yeah. And then right before this too, I was even considering quitting my job. Cause I was starting to get a lot of shows, and I had a couple of shows, out of town. I had one that I had to say no to because I couldn't get the time off of work. Oh, and I was like, you know what, man? I hate being able to, like, not being able to, do shows, have to say no to shows. I was like, I don't want to say no to shows anymore. I was like, this job, I could find another job or a job that's more flexible. And so I was really considering putting in my 2 weeks, and then they started like announcing that they were going to send everybody to work from home. And then everything shut down. The whole world just shut down.
Yeah,
and I was like,
so crazy.
Fuck, I would have been really fucked if I put in this 2 weeks for comedy.
God dang, yeah, it is real bizarre, man. Just because right before this happened, I was actually in the middle of booking some shows, one out in Burbank and then one in Las Vegas.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so I was like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. This is great. And then all just out of nowhere, that's all this shit happened. So, I mean, I don't know if it's still gonna happen because it's supposed to be in June, those shows, but
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know if that's still gonna go on. I haven't heard anything. No, I mean, no one's got back to me yet about it. But I mean, we'll see what happens, man. I mean, things can really take a turn and start kicking back in full gear pretty soon, but that's all going to depend on, I guess it looks like what our governor said.
Yeah, man. Well, they're going to start opening like restaurants, movie theaters, and what else? Something else, and the mall. And the mall they're going to open up on Friday, and then
Really?
they're gonna try to like keep it down to like 25% of the occupancy, which I don't
Yeah.
even know how they're gonna fucking determine that. Like, is it like how are they gonna fucking do that for the mall? If the whole mall's open up and you're only gonna let 25% of people in there, like who's gonna be counting? There's several exits. You can't close out all the exits. That's a fire hazard.
Yeah.
And then restaurants, dude. And shit, I don't even know if I want to go out to restaurants.
I know. I don't. I don't want to be out there. Like even at the
Yeah,
mall or at a fucking movie theater. Like I don't want to be out there. Especially, I mean, if things are. This is the way that I look at it. Like my wife can't reopen her salon. Okay.
yeah,
Not until like mid May.
yeah.
But yet this weekend they're going to have all this shit open. Like to me, that doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know. Like just something doesn't seem very safe to me. Like it doesn't seem like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and go out there. Like I just have a feeling that, and now like I know this is kind of catastrophizing the whole thing, but I just have a feeling like this weekend something's going to happen. There's going to be another large number of people getting sick,
Yeah.
and then it's going to kind of just kick us in the ass all over again. We're back to square one. I can really see that happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, obviously, I want the world to open up again and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that even if they said, okay, coast is clear, everybody go back to normal tomorrow, just hypothetical, I would probably self quarantine for another month or so, just on my own,
Yeah.
until like the whole fear of missing out kicks in, and because that's the whole thing too. Like, I don't have any of that. Like, I'm not worried about I'm not hitting up as many spots as I should be. Everybody else is, working and getting more shows. Like everything's shut down, so it's not just on me. So that's helped too. Like with the whole like depression and like I should be doing more. I'm not doing enough. Blah blah blah. Like all that has been just put on hold, which is good. But I don't know how I'm gonna be when everything goes back to normal.
I mean, like I have been very cautious in protecting my family so far, like not letting us go and do all kinds of, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, like even now, of course, obviously, like I would never take my son down with me, like at the store,
Yeah.
or anything like that, And I mean, shit, I don't even eat Chinese food now. Fuck that. I won't even go get Panda Express.
Well, Panda Express, I won't worry about it. It's the other places. It's the real places.
Hey, man, look, hey, I don't care. I will get very, very extremely racist when it comes to that. I don't care. I don't care.
Nah, I get that, man. I don't even watch Asian porn anymore.
You know what? Okay, speaking of porn, I do want to kind of mention this. Since the quarantine, I have gone down a very, very, very dark hole.
Yeah.
And
idle hands, man. Idle hands is a devil's playground.
Okay, no, it is. And you know what? When I started really getting to the dark recesses of Pornhub or like, X videos, whatever, I started going down this really, really dark path. And I stumbled upon, and this is real. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called nugget porn.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You gotta explain. Break it down for me.
Okay, so this is what nugget porn is. Nugget porn is where where it's typically a man having relations with this woman who's considered what they call a nugget, and she's a nugget because she's missing limbs.
Oh man.
This is true. I'm dead serious. Like if you got the time, Google it. It's called nugget porn. It is the most insane thing I've ever seen, and it's called like they're called nuggets.
Wow. Like full amputee, like no.
So the ones I've only seen two that are fully no arms, no legs.
Okay.
I've only seen 2 of those. The other one's usually missing like she's like one of them was she had a nub on her like a nub up to her elbow like on one arm, and the other one was completely gone. And then she had legs. One of them had both of her, like from the knee down. Her shit was gone. Yeah.
How many of these have you watched so far?
I lost count. I cannot tell you how many.
One or two, maybe, like just to see what it's all about and stuff. But this is your thing now.
So okay, it's my thing in the sense that I become kind of obsessed with it. Not in any sexual sense at all, though.
Okay.
Like it's not even sexual at this point.
It's just pure entertainment.
Yeah, okay, so I went down this rabbit hole and come to find out that in this oh god, I can't remember the name of the town. It's right south of San Francisco. This is where they have the majority of these movies made. Okay, because apparently there's like a high population of like amputees that are willing to do this. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it is. Oh my god. Yeah. So I started going down that rabbit hole.
How'd you find out? How'd you find this out? Like just randomly going about? Like, did you put in the search box Nugget? Like, did you know what Nugget was?
No. So
you were already going for amputee already. Like you were already in the neighborhood of amputees.
Actually, I wasn't even in the neighborhood of it. So what happened was when I did because I was looking at midgets. Okay, look, this is the whole thing. Was that I wanted to send a friend of mine a midget porn video because for one he thinks midgets are hilarious. I'm like, oh well, let me shoot him this link over here. So then when I was looking through the midget porn, it came into like disabled people that were disabled, not like mentally disabled. They weren't like any mentally disabled pornographers, pornographies.
That's called vegetable porn.
It's called what?
Vegetable porn.
Is it really?
I don't know. I was just making that up. I don't know.
I was like, oh shit, they got nuggets and veggies. They got the whole grocery store in there.
There you go.
No, so they have so then it went into disabled, and then it went into amputee, and then from there it went into nugget. Like it just spiraled down.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up there.
And that's where you chose to stay. Like you've been there doing the research and
yeah, I just been I've just been so fascinated with it. Like I've showed my mom, I've showed so many people that
you showed your mom.
Yeah. My mom doesn't speak English. She's from Mexico, so it's like it's hilarious.
Oh,
I love it. Yeah, I love it. Like I love it so much. Like anything I can do to upset her it just makes me so happy.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, we all got to keep ourselves busy, and that's what you're doing with your time. That's pretty awesome. Nugget porn.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll check it out. Just by the description, I kind of get the idea of what it is, and I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really I like people do have like their like search, like they need something specific. I don't. I'm really I'm very vanilla when it comes to like Pornhub and all that stuff.
Yeah. See, typically, yeah, I would say I'm pretty vanilla. I mean, there's nothing like specific. Like, I guess what you would consider normal, maybe. Choking's all right, gagging's cool. Hit me, whatever. Like, I think, like for me, that all falls under normal.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But
basic.
like I think like
that's basic stuff.
Yeah, basic. Yeah, it's But then like when you start getting into like
you gotta spice it up. You want to see what's on the other side. Is the grass greener on the other side?
And sometimes there's no grass. It's just dirt.
Or sometimes it's gangrene because the amputees and all that stuff.
That's true. But you know what? I don't know. What I wanted to know is what was the reason for these limbs being gone. Were they birth defects?
Mm-hmm.
Were they in an accident? Is this part of our servicemen and women? Or were these active military people? There's this whole thing behind it, and I just become fascinated. Almost the way people are with the whole Tiger King thing. Yeah, I just become fascinated with nugget porn and like the whole dynamics behind it. Like
So you want to get to the bottom of it. Like how did this person end up like in this position? Yeah. Does it say like in the descriptions, it was a massive car accident or they were
No, it
born this
doesn't. It
way?
just says, it just like in the descriptions, it says none of that. All it says, like, it tells you, like, okay, so like one of them where this dude, it was a guy who was missing, he was missing his legs, and there was 5 girls, and all 5, well, I should say girls because they weren't like your typical porn actresses. Obviously, like when you see your porn actors, they're hot. They got the little waist, the big boot. You know what I mean? It's very,
Okay.
yeah. They're
So they're
they were
both.
not that.
So when you said Abby T, when you said nuggets, I just assumed they were all female. So there's both male and female
Yeah,
nuggets.
both. Yeah, both
Okay.
male and female nuggets. So with 6 of these people in this video, they called it a 6-piece. That was the name of the video description. It was a 6-piece.
6-piece nuggets.
Yeah. They called it a 6-piece. And so like I started looking at that, and then like I said, these aren't like what you would typically see like in a regular, adult film where there's like, the buff, attractive guy with the huge dong, and then there's like the,
Yeah.
very, very attractive women with the huge boobs and all this stuff. These people look like literally they could be your neighbor, like just like a
Okay.
normal person. Yeah.
So you
There's
like that
nothing.
real aspect to it. You want them to be real. You don't want like the whole fake, quiet on the set type. You want real live.
No. So again, when it's come down to this nugget porn, it's purely non-sexual. Purely non-sexual. This has become just a fascination with just why is this even happening?
Uh-huh.
Like, so,
Yeah.
but when it comes to that department, I really don't care if it's real or fake at all. Just, I take whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I've been married for almost 10 years. I take whatever. I really don't care. But yeah, man, I've really like gotten into this whole thing. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Nugget porn. How do we get on that? I forgot, but it was very interesting, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give it one search, maybe 2, just to see what it's all about. I want to find that 6-piece nugget.
Yeah, dude, like when you find that video, it's titled "Sexy 6-Piece."
Oh, they left out the nugget. They don't even like put the joke in. Like they don't finish the joke. Like 6-piece nugget.
No. It just says "Sexy 6-Piece."
See, I like humor. I like the little humor added to the whole porn thing. So it's not all dirty. Like I like jokes. I'm in for jokes.
Yeah.
That's funny too.
I love it, dude. It's so great.
So you've been busting out any more podcasts? You've been doing more podcasts now with the whole quarantine?
Yeah, man. I've been cranking out the podcast. That's been doing, going really good. I actually started I started a new series, and the new series is called Dick for Breakfast. And so what I've been doing is interviewing single women about dating, like what is their dating life like, and usually, so we've been focusing around like one big problem. Okay, so like it's like the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode was about this young lady who was dating this guy, and everything was going pretty well for about, I think she said it was about like 9 months or so. And then when she was like, hey, I kind of want to have something serious, he tells her, I have a toothache, I have to leave, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
And never hears from him again.
Uh-huh.
He's just gone. Says he has a toothache and splits.
Yeah.
And so, and the thing that really like baffled me was that she was cooking, cleaning. Dude, she was okay. She would wake him up, not every morning, but from what she was telling me, at least 3 times a week. Wake him up with a blowjob, make him breakfast, and then I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why would you leave?
Yeah.
Why would you leave?
Yeah.
And it just, yeah. And so that's the thing that I became obsessed with too. So then I started that series. I've been calling it Dick for Breakfast. And so I've been talking. Yeah.
How are you finding these people? How are you finding these people to do these stories on?
Oh, dude. Like, so I get emails all the time.
Really?
I get right now, I would say probably a week. I probably get anywhere between like and I don't know if it's a lot or like if it's considered a lot or not. But I'd say probably in about a week's time, I get probably, I'd say maybe about 75 to maybe 100 emails.
What? Like,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So how do they know to email you with this story or this problem that they're having?
So I always put my email out on the podcast. I always tell people, hey, look,
Uh-huh.
email me, if you have any, concerns, dreams, desires you want to talk about. What I don't give a fuck. You just contact me. And
Yeah.
I get people that contact me about, okay, matter of fact, one of them was that I'm going to be talking about was I got an email about 4 days ago, and this guy was talking about he's not sure if his girlfriend is peeing on him or squirting on him. He can't tell the difference.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to be talking about that. And like, I just get people that email me all this stuff, man. It's crazy.
And how are you going to solve that for him? Like, just go,
I have no idea.
you just want the story. Like, you're not trying to get to solutions. You just want the story.
No, nothing I have to offer is helpful. Nothing I say is helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect
And
that.
that's
You just want to get the story out there. You're not going to fix the problem.
There's no way I can fix that.
You can't find out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I mean, I can't tell if the girl's peeing or squirting. I'd have to be there.
Yeah.
I
got to see it for myself.
Yeah, I have to see it for myself. I can't, I can't diagnose things right over there,
Yeah.
or email. So, but
that's cool that you have like people actually helping you move the show along, like giving you like different stories, different things to talk about. And so they'll send you the emails and you call them up and you talk to them, like you get back into the story with them.
Yeah. It's so like I'll get an email, about that. And so I'll be like, oh, I'll email them back. Hey, do you mind if I contact you to have you on the show?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yeah, sure. Or if they're like, well, no, I don't want to be on the show. I'm like, okay, well, you don't mind if I talk about it on the show? Blah. And yeah, that's it, man. Like it's so crazy how before when I first started to do podcasting, it was about, about almost 3 years, let's say about 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I started with a buddy of mine and we started our podcast and it was called the Huevos and Ketchup Podcast.
Huevos and Ketchup.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one are you?
I'm actually Ketchup because he's a lot more Hispanic or Mexican or Latinx. I don't know what the proper term is these days.
Is it Latinx or Latinx? Like, what's the proper?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So,
yeah, it doesn't.
So you're Ketchup.
So, yeah, I'm Ketchup. He was Huevos, and so so we had that podcast going, and it was actually going really, really well. We had this guy. His name was Ken Gerard. He was a cryptozoologist. We had the San Antonio Ghost Hunters on there. We had the Batman of San Antonio on there. We were getting like all these like kind of like just like local people that are like kind of, I don't say famous, but people that are known throughout the community and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to highlight things. Oh, and then we had we had 2 professional wrestlers from like the local wrestling deal that were on the podcast, and so things were going really good. And then him and I had a creative difference fallout. And then so we're like, okay, well, let's just call it quits. Okay, cool. So we call as a matter of fact, you can still find those episodes on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And and so and then I went out on my own to start my own podcast, and I was like, you know what? Let me just give it a shot. I don't know what I'm doing really, because he did all the editing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did everything.
He was a tech guy.
Yeah, he was a tech guy, and I'm not. So when I started out on my own, I had no knowledge of anything. So I was kind of playing around. I started doing my own podcast, and I started putting my email out there. And then next thing you know, like one email turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into 4. And
yeah.
It just went out there, man. Like it was so crazy. And I want to say like in 3 to 4 months time, like people were emailing me all the time. It was crazy.
That's insane, man. That's cool that you get all these stories, people to help you with the fucking content,
Yeah, it is, man. And, you just put it out there. You just talk to people, like, and people. It's crazy. Like people are willing to share information.
Yeah.
Like if like people are always willing to share information. If you tell them, hey man, you mind if I talk to you on the podcast about whatever it is you're into, then yeah, like most definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, people are willing to do that. So yeah, if you just go around and ask, man, people talk to you about anything.
That's cool, man. That's really cool, man. So you said that you were working on writing changes up your style. What would you say you're trying to change, or like as opposed to what? Like, what was your style before this, and what do you think it's going to be after this?
Well, I've always been a dirty comic. I don't know if I talked to you before about it, but I actually got kicked out of the LOL club.
No, man, you got kicked out because of what you were saying?
Yeah. So I've always been just a real dirty comic, and from what I understand, the person that removed me from the LOL club no longer is management there.
Oh, so it was a while back, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah, it was a while back. And so I got asked to not come back, and I was like, okay, cool. That's fine with me. I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll do stand-up anywhere. And so, I've been that way for a long time. And I would say if you really kind of look at my style the way it is and has been, it's very much like, I would say almost like a Doug Stanhope kind of Joey Diaz type.
Okay.
Just kind of, my comedy's always been kind of just straight to the point, kind of vulgar, always has been that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been writing more story-like comedy versus, I mean, my jokes really aren't that long. I keep them kind of short to the point. So, but yeah, just kind of going more along the lines of like a story type. So we'll see how that works out. I don't know, man. I mean, it's still going to be dirty as shit. I can't change that up. I can never change it up.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man, just trying to be like a storyteller comic. Like my bits, I keep them very short because like just how we talked about earlier. I don't know, before we start recording, the audience. Like if the audience, I need the audience to quickly be with me to get the ball rolling and stuff. So I know you could do like short bits, and then you start doing the long stories. But I'm not really good with the whole build up. I like just really short, little matches, tags, and here and there and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, man, I've tried a couple times to do like long story bits, like the whole big build up, and just not the confidence isn't there. So I need to help like with those bits. I need like to punch them up a little bit more, so they are kind of like short jabs and all that stuff. But that's pretty interesting, man. I try to change it up and do more stories. I mean, obviously you're gonna keep it raunchy because that's your style. That's just how you write. So it'd be kind of cool to see how the difference is.
I mean, like it's so crazy. Like I've had so many comics tell me like, oh man, you can work clean. You can work clean if you wanted. Like Bobby Smith. Bobby Smith has been a good buddy of mine for years.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh man, you can write clean. You can write clean. And dude, I tried, and there's just no fucking way. Like I spent on one joke, I want to say I spent over a month trying to write that joke and trying to keep it like to where it would be clean, to where I can use it for like a corporate gig or use it for like a church event. Which,
have you done a church event?
No, but I will tell you this. I did. Okay. So I did a show, and it was probably like 90% black audience.
Uh-huh.
And which obviously is not a problem. However, and it wouldn't be a problem if half of my act wasn't about so there was a lot of racial connotations in there. Like, okay, so like one of them was like how I talk about my son being half black, and we're actually fostering to adopt him, which is true. And I talk about him being half black, and how my wife and I were good people for doing that. And so it's more along the lines of that. And then how like my mother-in-law asked before we got him, she asked, how black was he? And I said, well, yeah. And I said he's definitely getting pulled over, but he'll be able to drive away. So so I had that bit, and dude, it did not. And I'm talking fucking crickets.
Yeah.
It was crickets in there, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But
it's funny though. I mean, it's funny. Like, I think like I had a joke where it was a little bit race. There was wordplay, race relations, all that stuff. I had a joke, and then I tried to LOL on one of the open mics and stuff, and it was a hot night, and there was a lot of black people, and they were vibing with everybody. And I went up there. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start with that joke. And it's gonna fucking go off and blah blah blah. And I started with that joke, and crickets, like they gave me nothing, and I froze, and I was like, because the whole thing was like, it probably would have worked. It's all about placement. It probably would have worked. Maybe it's worked before, but it probably would have worked had I introduced myself and who like my character and how I'm stupid. I say stupid stuff all the time. When I go out and I start with that one, like it's like, oh, you sound very racist. You must be a racist.
Oh my god! So which it just reminded me when I said that was a part of the reason why I said crickets was because if you don't know that the term moon cricket is a racial slur for black people.
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So when it was dead silent in there, it got even worse because it was dead quiet. And I was like, a bunch of crickets in here, huh?
Oh.
So, but I said that not
knowing that it was a bad term.
Yeah. Well, again, the term is from what I understand, the term is moon cricket. I didn't say moon cricket. I said bunch of crickets in here, but they were obviously upset because I referred to them. Well, I wasn't referring to them as crickets. That's
what they assumed.
Yeah, I was like, there are crickets in here because it's dead silent because no one's laughing. But then it turned into this like, so yeah.
That's right.
Great times.
Yeah, I definitely don't miss that. I don't miss bombing. I don't. To be honest, I don't know if I miss open mics. That whole hustle and stuff. I was having a lot of fun with it. I was having a blast with it and stuff. But then the whole roller coaster of like, oh, this is so good. I can't like. It's a drug. Doing comedy is a drug.
For real. 100%.
What this quarantine has done for me, I've been able to kind of detox from it. So that need, that itch, isn't as strong as it was before. So
but can you imagine when we do go back, and I say we as in comics, when we start going back and people are wanting to go out, people are going to be at the bars now, people are going to be at those open mics, and could you imagine when you start getting those laughs again?
Yeah.
It's going to be like crack, dude. It's going to be like fucking heroin.
It's going to be insane. And then my marriage will definitely fall apart probably.
Yeah,
because the whole thing with all this stuff, like we're now faced with, because we're always told tomorrow's never promised, enjoy life now, YOLO, all that stuff. Tomorrow's not promised. All this stuff, the whole quarantine, the whole world shutting down has kind of made us see what that kind of looks like. The world could end tomorrow and shit. And I heard, have you seen Waco? It's on Netflix now.
Oh no, I haven't gotten there yet.
It's pretty good, and they were kind of like anti ATF, anti FBI, and all that stuff. But you should check it out. But there was a line in there. David Koresh had said it, that he met a drummer, and it kind of hit me because I used to be a drummer and all that stuff. And he's like, you could tell a lot by a person by how they play their music. And he's talking to the drummer. He's like, you play very loud, very aggressive, as if you are worried that if you don't make enough noise, or if you don't make the right noise, something like that, paraphrasing, if you don't make noise, you'll disappear to everybody. And I was like, holy shit, man. Like, had he told me that, like, I would have fucking gone to whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you sold me and stuff. Because that's why I play drums, because I wanted to be loud and stuff. I was a quiet kid. I was a funny kid, when I got comfortable. But for the most part, I was very quiet, very, like, in my shell type of thing. And when I found drums, like I just became like a big person. You know, I felt huge. I played loud and all that stuff. And then I stopped doing that because you know, you get older, and you know, it's just hard to keep a band together when you get older and stuff. And I found comedy. Always been into it. Never thought I would do it. And then I finally found it. And I was like, oh man, like this is my chance to be big again. This is my chance to be loud before I disappeared of the world, you know, type of thing. And that was a heavy driving force, like the whole 2 years since I've been doing it, you know. And so it fed in, it like every night fed into that addiction, that dopamine trigger, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was addicted, man. I needed it. I needed to go out. I needed I needed the accolades from strangers, type of thing. And then the quarantine happened, the world shut down, and I was really fucking depressed at first. I was really sad. Everything's over, everything's done. And then after a while I was like, maybe I don't need that anymore. So I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to jump back into it as soon as possible. Not only because of the whole health concerns and stuff,
Hmm.
the concerns about the virus, but I don't know if I get back into it, am I going to go like really hard to where I ruin all my relationships and friendships and all that stuff just for this comedy drug that's going on. I don't know.
I think I will.
You're
I
ready
will
to get back
definitely.
into it?
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. I am. Dude, like I have definitely been wanting to go out there, man. Like I've been really wanting to go, and I will definitely risk my marriage. I don't care.
Man, but and you've been doing it for 10 years, dude. Like how was your early starts? Like how was all that? Like your start 10
Uh,
years ago?
so the early start was pretty fucking bad. It was pretty fucking terrible. Um, I want to say about maybe a year into it, things got really good.
Yeah.
Like just after a year, um, I have I did I so to make a I'm gonna make a long story short, and again I'm gonna just kind of keep it all in a nutshell because it would take forever.
Yeah.
But pretty much what I set out to do, I put on 5 shows, okay, that I put on myself at different venues around town. And at each show, I did an hour.
Damn.
Every show was a different hour. So I had 5 hours that I did in 5 months. I did one show a month. So, like, January was a 1 hour show, February was another hour, March was another hour, and they were all different.
That's insane, man.
So I did that, and as a matter of fact, I kept the newspaper clippings from the newspaper clipping from the Current when I came out in it, and because at the time, like I said, only being a year into it, it was great, man. And then and then after that, like I want to say it really just took a nosedive, man. Like it took a real bad nosedive for probably maybe about 3 to 4 years.
Mm.
And then after that, then I started kind of taking it at smaller chunks at a time versus trying to go balls out. Because I mean, honestly, that's what I was trying to do. Because you know what? Look, man, nobody teaches you how to do this.
Yeah.
There's no how-to book in this. There's no, like, and this isn't a, you know, I'm not trying to shit on any of the comics here in town or anything like that. But I mean, none of the comics really say, "Hey, Patrick, why don't you come hang out with me? Let me kind of show you the ropes, man. Let me show
Yeah.
you how this works. Let me kind of bring you in, let you meet some people. Hey, Patrick, let's talk about your joke writing, man." That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You're in it for yourself. I mean, really. I mean, you have to learn where to go. You have to learn, you have to learn everything on your own. And so when I started, I was just going balls to the wall, dude. Like I was just going I was just putting my nuts out there and just letting it go.
Yeah.
And it turned out okay. Like it turned out okay. I learned a lot from it.
Mm.
And so now I just take things, I would say I probably, now I for a year. I would say every year I try to shoot for an hour every year.
That is so insane, dude. That is so insane how you did your first year. You did 5 hours.
Yeah, 5 hours, and it was dude. It was literally jokes that I wrote, and I wrote the jokes. I memorized them. I put them in like kind of I categorized them like fat jokes, sex jokes, all these blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I would go and take so out of all these, let's say out of the 20 fat jokes that I have, I'm gonna take 10 of those, and I'm gonna put those 10 into this into this hour. Then I'm gonna take these 15 sex jokes that I have, and I'm gonna put them into that same hour. And so I would go through like that. And I was really trying, I was putting all kinds of shit in there, man.
Yeah.
Like everything. And it went, like I said, I'm not gonna sit there and say it was so crazy successful, because it wasn't, but it got to the point to where people got wind of it, and people were coming out to see me. Like it was pretty cool. Like it was really neat. And then, like I said, after that, once that kind of died down, then it just really fucking died down. Like it was bad. Yeah, it was real bad. So I would probably say I didn't do very well stand-up wise I would say probably about a good, out of those 10 years, I would say probably out of 4 years out of those 10 years, I did not do very well.
Dang, man. That's so crazy. Yeah, I have a buddy, you might know him. I think you've done shows to Big John. Big John is also somebody who just he did his first hour without even doing any open mics. He just rented out a venue. He put on a show. His first comedy show was a sold out comedy show at the Alamo Draft House, and I think he's done like 4 of them. I was supposed to be on his 5th one. He was about to have his 5th one last month, and it was already sold out. It was sold out months before, and it unfortunately got canceled and stuff. But he's done like 4 or 5 sold out shows where he does like an hour plus, and I was like, I do, after 2 years, I only have like a solid 20 minutes, if that,
Yeah, man.
That's the most I've done. The most I've done is feature sets for 20 minutes. And I was like, I hear people do like 5 separate hours within like a year. That's so fucking scary to me, dude. I'm like, oh fuck.
Well, it's like usually, yeah, man. Like I said, I would say nowadays, probably for the past 3 years or so, I try to do although I may not perform that hour that year, I still try to shoot for writing an hour for that year. So it's like, so my logic behind that is, so let's say this year, 2020, I'm able to write 45 minutes or an hour, right? I have let's say I have a whole hour by the time Christmas comes around. Well, guess what? If, you tell me, hey, Bobby, would you mind doing 30 minutes in February for this crowd or whatever? Guess what? I can pull from that hour that I haven't truly performed that hour, but I can pull from that hour. I can pull jokes from the year before from an hour that I did. So it's like, my goal is to pretty much have a solid hour every year. That way I can pull from it if I need to, or I can do this set for this person, or, or however it works. So that's cool, my goal, man. Usually.
Man, I feel like I'm not doing anything at all. I haven't done any writing. I haven't done anything like comedy related. I mean, I'll write down bits here and there, and I have a little comedy group where we'll just bullshit and tell jokes to each other, and always just funny, and then we'll bounce off of that. But as far as like sitting down and actually working, especially with all this time, I haven't been doing that at all, man. So I'm just now starting to pick up the podcast. Thanks for agreeing to do the podcast with me, man. I took a break with it. I took a break with it because I was like, I don't want to do Zoom chat and stuff, and then I realized, man, there's been I don't talk to anybody, and I need to. I started this thing so I could start like networking and meeting people and doing all that stuff. So I'm going to try to get back into it, man. So thanks for helping me kick it back off with the return.
Yeah, man, for sure. It was good to be on here, man.
So yeah, one more time, give everybody your social media, where can they find your podcast, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. Okay, so Instagram, you can find me on the gram at Bobby Mac the Comedian. You could also listen to my podcast anywhere you stream. It's called the Bobby Mac Jumbo XL Podcast. And, of course, you can find me here on the BarbacoaCore, baby.
Thanks a lot for doing that. Everybody, I am on Twitter and Instagram at Patrick C. Huerta. And then I got the BarbacoaCore Podcast. You can find that anywhere you find podcasts. BarbacoaCore.com for all the links. And yeah, check y'all next time.
All right,
later. Brother.